Hunter Biden's staggering $20 million haul from Kazachs, Chinese, Russians, Romanians, Ukrainians revealed in new bank records. So this is going to be pretty interesting, to say the least. President Biden's family and their allies brought in at least $20 million from foreign sources, including first son Hunter Biden's business associates in Russia, Kazakhstan, and Ukraine, some of whom dined with the current commander in chief, the House Oversight Committee revealed Wednesday. Committee Chairman James Comer said Hunter Biden, now 53, appeared to deliver Russian, Kazakhstani, and Ukrainian business people access to his father, then Barack Obama's vice president, noting that each of the post-Soviet associates allegedly attended at least one of two dinners at Washington's Cafe Milano with the Bidens. During Joe Biden's vice presidency, Hunter Biden sold him as the brand to reap millions from oligarchs in Kazakhstan, Russia, and Ukraine. It appears no real services were provided other than access to the Biden network, including Joe Biden himself, Comer said in a statement. And Hunter Biden seems to have delivered. This is made clear by meals at Cafe Milano, where then Vice President Joe Biden dined with oligarchs from around the world who had sent money to his son, he added. It's clear Joe Biden knew about his son's business dealings and allowed himself to be the brand so to enrich the Biden family while he was Vice President of the United States. Bank records released by the panel confirmed that Hunter earned up to $1 million annually from Ukrainian natural gas company Burisma Holdings, beginning when his father assumed control of the Obama administration's Ukraine portfolio in 2014, and that Kazakhstani businessman Knez Rakishev, I think that's how you pronounce it, Rakishev, transferred $142,300 that April for Hunter to buy a luxury car, reportedly a Fisker that Hunter later traded in for a Porsche. Now, the interesting thing is, like, I really wonder how much, like, let's say Joe Biden directly got any payments, because I think the way that they have it set up, which is kind of like interesting, and it's probably how he's trying to like avoid it this whole time in terms of like Joe Biden, is that I'm pretty certain Hunter Biden is the only one that has actually received like payments. I think other family members have received payments, but I think Joe Biden himself didn't receive any payments, but his son got all the payments pretty much, or the majority of the payments, other than other family members and friends or whatever, and basically was required to pay the bills for everyone in the family, right? So, like, basically, kind of like imagine it like this, where you got a family of 10 people, as like an example, right? The dad is the boss, but the boss, the dad, doesn't take any income. Let's say that he's like a mafia boss, right? He doesn't take any income, so he doesn't have to declare any taxes or anything like that. So basically, on paper, he's like an old retiree man, right? But the son, who has connection to the dad, the boss, gets paid millions upon millions of dollars every single year. But as the son, he has a responsibility to the dad, the boss, to pay all the bills, right? So technically, the dad, the boss, can reap the benefits of the money, of the transactions, of these deal makings, without really ever having to face any consequences, which is very interesting because that's pretty much how like a lot of like crime families or like people in like the deep like underworld kind of like skirt away from having to deal with any sort of consequences, because one of the main reasons how they got a lot of the mafia guys isn't them like getting caught actually doing any crimes, but it's them basically not paying their taxes, which is kind of interesting. Let's see. So the records supplement Archer's deposition to the committee July 31st, in which he revealed the flow of 3.5 million transferred on February 14th, 2014 from Russian billionaire and former Moscow First Lady Yelena Botorina to the Archer and Hunter Biden controlled entity Rosemont Seneca Thornton. Rosemont Seneca Thornton, in turn, transferred $750,000 of Botorina's funds to Archer on March 11th, 2014, and another $2,752,711 on the same day to Rosemont Seneca Bohe, an account that was opened one day prior to Botorina's $3.5 million transfer. Archer testified that Rosemont Seneca Bohai was controlled on a 50-50 basis by himself and Hunter Biden. And it's kind of like the interesting thing about this. If you stumble upon this, this kind of makes me almost feel like Hunter Biden, the Biden family basically, but mainly Hunter Biden, was like living a life like he was like a Grand Theft Auto character, right? Because for those that don't know, like in like Grand Theft Auto, you pretty much commit crimes, you do these massive heists, you do these like crazy deals, you do these drug deals, you do all this sort of stuff to like make crazy amounts of money. Like there's even like times where you basically assassinate like the CEO of a massive corporation, but you like short sell the stock beforehand so that you can make potentially millions or tens of millions of dollars from that, or you poison people and like get stuff like the whole point of that game is basically to try to make as much money as possible doing the most crazy stuff possible as if laws did not matter. And I kind of feel like Hunter Biden has been like living his life that way. These numbers are kind of like crazy. Let's see. On March 25th, most of the 2.75 million was transferred to a different Rosemont Seneca Bohai account, with two transfers for $2,246,111 and $200,000 occurring on the same day. The paper trail doesn't neatly resolve whether Hunter Biden directly benefited from Botorina's transfer, but an infographic in Comer's release notes that Rosemont Seneca Bohai funds were used to cover personal expenses as well as transferred to Hunter's separate corporate entity, Owasco PC. Archer told the committee last week that he wasn't sure why Botorina transferred the $3.5 million and that he thought it must have been meant for his other firm, Rosemont Realty, which he said did more than $100 million in business with her. Interesting. Hold on. I want to see the infographic again up here. Let's see. So China 8.1 million, 3 million from State Energy HK on March 1st, 2017, 5.1 million from CEFC China Energy on August 4th to 8th, 2017. Interesting. Ukraine 6.5 million around Burisma Holdings, well from Burisma Holdings 2014 to 2019. Kazakhstan 142,300 from the Knez Rakashev on April 22nd, 2014. Romania 3.1 million. Gabriel Popo Vigishu? Vigici? I don't know how to pronounce that. From November 2015 to May 2017. And Russia from the former First Lady. Okay, interesting. So when asked why most of the 3.5 million was passed along to an entity that was 50% held by Hunter Biden rather than directed to Rosemont Realty, Archer told the panel probably because it was owed, without elaboration. Archer testified that Hunter Biden was only briefly associated with his realty firm, though emails from Hunter's abandoned laptop show he was involved in Botorina's search for U.S. real estate investments. Archer also revealed that Botorina attended a previously unknown dinner at the Georgetown Eatery with Hunter and Joe Biden and Hunter's Kazakhstani partners sometime in spring 2014. Botorina also appears to have attended an April 2015 Cafe Milano dinner featuring Joe and Hunter Biden, though Archer did not recollect her attendance in his testimony. Emails from 2015 discuss Botorina as an invitee, and a different attendee of that dinner told the Post he saw her there. Baturina managed to avoid Obama's administration's sanctions over Russia's 2014 annexation of Crimea and support for pro-Russia rebels in eastern Ukraine, and she has also avoided President Biden's broader sanctions against Moscow's business elite over last year's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, as has another Russian oligarch, Vladimir Yevshenkov, with whom Hunter also partnered on real estate scouting. I gotta say, some of these names, they are so impossible for me to say. So the 3.5 million transfer has been debated for years since it was first revealed shortly before the 2020 election in a report by two Republican-led Senate committees, and Joe Biden denied that report's accuracy during a presidential debate. Why is it, just out of curiosity, the mayor of Moscow's wife gave your son 3.5 million? Donald Trump asked Biden during the first presidential debate of 2020. Oh, yeah. I forgot that this actually existed. So, for those that are just listening to this, there's a photo of Hunter Biden who photographed himself driving at 172 miles per hour while behind the wheel of his Porsche en route to a days long Vegas bender with prostitutes. And he photographed himself smoking crack while speeding behind the wheel of his silver Porsche. And like, I think the craziest thing about him, which is why also again he makes me feel like he was living like a Grand Theft Auto character's like lifestyle. This guy literally filmed himself, photographed himself committing constant amounts of crimes and like felonies too. Not just like misdemeanors, not just like slap on your wrist type of stuff, but straight up crimes, okay? Like driving what 172 miles per hour, depending on the state, depending on the county, etc., could be a felony charge, right? Because it could be reckless driving. Smoking crack while speeding behind the wheel is probably considered reckless driving as well, right? Not to mention the amount of times he's filmed himself with hookers, which, by the way, how much money you got to be spending on like so much time with hookers, like all the time, like you got to be like bleeding money. Not to mention the amount of times that he filmed himself with like a lot of money and a lot of cocaine, like a lot of cocaine. Like, Lord. So that is not true that then Kennedy said about the whole Hunter Biden receiving 3.5 million. What did he do to deserve it? Trump pressed. None of that is true, Biden insisted. And more granular detail on the disbursement of Baturina's funds is possible as Republicans continue to investigate. Biden himself lashed out at Fox News White House correspondent Peter Doocy when asked about Archer's testimony following an event in New Mexico Wednesday, telling the reporter, "I never talked business with anybody, and I knew you'd have a lousy question." White House spokesman Ian Sams said that House Republicans can't prove President Biden did anything wrong, and that it's time for these extreme House Republicans to give up their wild goose chase and start working with President Biden on the issues that really matter to the American people. The group Facts First USA, founded by Democratic operative David Brock, titled in an email attacking the latest bank records release, "James Comer dumpster dives for latest plate of leftovers." But Republicans described the confirmation of transactions as a significant step, with the latest memo arguing that Biden's family is a vehicle to receive bribery payments. House Republicans, led by Speaker Kevin McCarthy, are moving closer to launching an impeachment inquiry into whether Joe Biden corruptly misused his position as a vice president to benefit his son Hunter and brother James' international dealings, with McCarthy saying Monday that the president should give us his bank statements to clear his name. See, I think the interesting thing about this is that, like, I think it really all depends on whether or not they could definitively prove that Joe Biden directly received any sort of payments, right? Because if they're not able to prove that, then he might be able to just walk away and like not really care. And the thing is, he could potentially just throw his son underneath the bus and then guess what? Just pardon him too. So I'm pretty certain he could just pardon his son. So that might be a possibility of happening because again, like this is such like a weird situation, right? Because we're talking about large amounts of money here, but seems like technically nothing is directly linking straight up to like Joe Biden's like bank accounts in a sense or charities. But again, his son is getting all these payments, right? So again, like I think it really depends on if they could actually reveal any sort of direct payment to Joe Biden, which is going to be kind of interesting. Now, maybe there's like a situation where like Hunter Biden ends up basically paying Joe Biden some sort of funds or something like that. That could be a possibility, but I kind of doubt that they're going to be able to find something like that because it seems like on the Joe Biden side that Joe Biden was smart enough to not have things connect to him directly and just have his son basically do all the dirty work and receive all the payments. But it's so weird, right? Because like his son is such an unreliable piece of garbage. Like think about that. Think about like you're like a mob boss in a sense, right? You have like millions and millions and millions of dollars on the line to potentially come in. And you gotta rely on a drug addicted, hooker addicted degenerate that records himself doing all these crimes. Like, can you just imagine that? Like, imagine like your whole like side hustle relied on someone like that. Which I think to me is just like the funniest thing about this whole situation. Because like I don't really know if anything's actually going to happen with this because all politicians are basically kind of like garbage, basically, right? And like it doesn't really matter whether it's like left, right, center, whatever. All these politicians are garbage. All of them are doing some sort of shady thing, whether it be with like day trading stocks that they have no way to do, like to like make the type of profits that they make, unless they're insider trading, which a lot of them are. Basically, all of them are. So to me, it's just kind of like funny, but also sad at the same time. But also, it's like, would you be willing to do this for like a few $1 million? I mean, some people probably would, to be like willing to like kind of betray the country in a way for money. Interesting. If you're like checking this out, give your thoughts too. So, Oversight Committee Democrats led by ranking member Rep. Jamie Raskin have sought to flip the script by saying Hunter Biden's foreign income is small compared to a $2 billion investment from Saudi Arabia's government in a firm launched by Trump's son in law, Jared Kushner, shortly after he left office, which reportedly was expected to bring Kushner's firm annual management fees of about $25 million. The Oversight Committee has not yet subpoenaed bank records for Joe Biden or any member of the Biden family, and the latest memo doesn't resolve any FBI informant's report that Burisma owner Mykola Zalewski claimed he paid $5 million apiece in bribes to Joe and Hunter Biden in exchange for the then vice president pushing to oust Ukrainian prosecutor General Viktor Shokin. The panel has acquired documents on international transfers from business partners such as Archer and Rob Walker, who distributed to Hunter roughly one-third of $3 million hauls from Chinese state energy HK in 2017, and about one-third of $3 million from Romanian businessman Gabriel Popo Vejishu, who has been convicted of corruption between 2015 and 2017 as the elder Biden led a U.S. anti-corruption push in the country. Comer and May identified 9 Biden family members who allegedly got foreign funds for what he said was no apparent services provided. So again, like, it's kind of like an interesting thing, like I mentioned, because I feel like if Joe Biden was coherent during this whole thing, that he set it up in a way that there's nothing directly tying him to getting direct payments, right? But it's going to be kind of interesting because, like, in a court of law, like, you'd still have to prove that he, like, I guess, directly got the money in a way. So if they can't prove that, could he be impeached on that? Like, I don't know. And again, I'm not really too much deep into like politics or anything like that. I'm talking about this because of the money aspect. But to me, like, I just think it's such a bad business move, a bad side hustle move to have everything basically relying on your drug addicted, hooker addicted son that films himself committing multiple felonies. Like, like you couldn't have thought about someone slightly better, slightly more reliable to to your criminal side hustle. Like, I don't know. To me, it just seems so sad. Time to impeach corrupt Biden on real corruption, not like the false accusations of Trump's impeachment by dirty radical Democrats. From Paul Dessa. This person says the smartest guy Joe Biden knows is pond scum. This idiot owes back taxes and does not even bathe. Just look at his disgusting nude photos. Someone needs to tell him he's nothing to look at. To be frank, I don't really want to look at Hunter Biden's nude photos. Although apparently the guy is like infatuated with his own dick. According to Forbes, Biden is worth $58 million. Hunter estimated to be worth 330 million. I don't think is it? Hold on. I want to see if this is anywhere close to being accurate. What? Hold on. Hunter Biden net worth 2022 deals investment spending and more. What? Hunter Biden is an American attorney, consultant, lobbyist, painter, and the second son of U.S. President Joe Biden. And as of November 2022, Hunter Biden's net worth is estimated to be $330 million. Where the heck are they pulling this number from? What the? So as of 2021, Hunter Biden's net worth is estimated to be 330 million. His monthly income is 3 million. The salary is 20 million. What? He has an estimated 130 million in assets and about 85 million in investments. His assets also include cash reserves of an estimated 50 million plus. His investment portfolio includes four stocks valued at about 85 million. He also has over 45 million in government bonds and bank deposits, which gives him annual interest and dividend payments. His rental income is estimated at over 5 million annually, while his dividend and interest income is about 2 million annually. Hmm. Hold on. Hunter Biden hedge fund purchase of 8.1 million promissory note with his uncle. So in 2006, Hunter Biden and his uncle James Biden purchased a hedge fund company called Paradigm Global Advisors through an 8.1 million promissory note. He reportedly took home a salary of 1.2 million annually as interim CEO for 5 years until 2011. And the 8.1 million promissory note seemingly never repaid, and the firm was liquidated in 2010. Okay. Seven multiple income sources of 6 million. Like I said, there's Burisma, there's other extra stuff. Let's see. A forensic analyst of Hunter Biden's hard drive reported by NBC News revealed he and his firm were paid an estimated 5.8 million from 2013 to 2018 from his deal with Chinese interests. Jesus. So according to NBC News, Hunter Biden earned $11 million between 2013 and 2018. In 2020, Hunter earned an estimated 2 million advance from Simon & Schuster for his memoir. What on earth? There must be some like crazy stuff on that laptop that just basically expose all of the amount of money that he has. But like again, Hunter Biden is a GTA character, like straight up. Like this is like the only way to basically explain this whole situation is like he is a Grand Theft Auto character. The lifestyle he lives, the amount of money that he's got and makes, like the fact that he could pretty much get away with pretty much anything and like basically get nothing done to him is insane to me. And reportedly, what some people have said is on that laptop is like extremely heinous potentially. It's like it's shocking that like not more stuff has been like revealed off of this laptop. It's very interesting. So crazy though. Like again, like the main reason why I wanted to talk about this is like if you are going to do a side hustle or you're going to do some sort of business, regardless if it's above board or not, maybe don't have a drug addicted, hooker addicted individual to like basically be running everything because it's going to backfire a lot. And at the very least, don't record yourself committing crimes. Like, come on.